Welcome again to Celestial City Productions. We have another fine art print here. This one's a little different than the other one. This one is called Pilgrims Coming Home. Here you're actually a pilgrim on the road, and you're emotionally attached with this picture because you're engaged. It's you on the road as you're looking at the picture, and you're walking along. And in this picture, it's the same as the other one. He heard my cry. In a sense, it's a different perspective. You can see where the burdens were laid down, and how the pilgrims are headed home, all in one direction. They're being called. But the big difference between this picture and the other one, not only the perspective, but also the fact that there's something a little different in this picture. And it's this right here, and this is what I wanted to point out. It's right here in the veil. It's Jesus' face in that veil. And in Isaiah 52:14, it talks about the marring of his face would be beyond recognition. And this is what's happened here and what is witnessed there. And also the fact that you look and say, okay, why would it be like that? Why would that be prophesied 700 years before his crucifixion? Well, one of the reasons we know of is the fact that he came when he came, well, I want you to think of it this way. I want you to think of Adam and Eve when they were in the garden. When they were in the garden, they were perfect. They had perfect fellowship with God. They had a perfect environment, perfect relationships. Everything was perfect and very recognizable. But you can imagine when they fell and they broke relationship with God and they chose their own way. And when that happened, and then they were, by justice, God had to separate and they were put in the wilderness. Can you imagine what they looked like a year later and you ran into them? You wouldn't even recognize them. But for God so loved the world, he sent his son. And what did he do? He came incarnate. He came in flesh. And he came as a man. God with us. Christ incarnate. And he came as a man to identify with our condition as a man. But not only that, before the crucifixion, when he was beaten so hard, and at the crucifixion, he was marred beyond recognition in order to identify with our spiritual condition. And this is what's so great about our Lord. What he does is he identified with our condition, and then he changed places, and he took our place. And that's what that means. He took our place. And he made us who were unclean, clean, and unrighteous, righteous, and unworthy, worthy, because that's who he is. That's who he is, because God is love. And that's what this whole message in here about these pilgrims coming home into the presence of God's love and presence for all time and eternity. Thank you very much.